Hello, my name is Eduardo and today I'm here with this tutorial for App Inventor, and the tutorial is the Pong, the Arkanoid game for App Inventor. Okay, so well, basically the idea is to have these blocks, okay, and these blocks are destroyed by evil ball, okay, that is launched or that is thrown by this kind of paddle. Okay, well, basically that is the idea. So it's a very interesting tutorial. If you check, we have here the canvas, we have these images, we have a score. It's pretty simple, okay, but I guess it's pretty functional. Okay, functional. So now if you check, also we have this kind of background that is quite like changing. We have this kind of rock, and then we have this changing sometimes no, and I will show you how to do that. It is not perfect, guys, because of many things, I guess, okay, but I guess it is pretty functional and pretty entertaining. Okay, so let's start with the tutorial. Well, don't forget to like this video, okay, and to share this video. If we can get, I will share this initial file with you, okay. Basically this is the idea. So check, we don't have any screen, so I'm going to remove everything, okay, to start again. So I'm going to remove this thing, delete this, and goodbye project. So, and you have here all the images necessary for this game to work, okay. So I will share this file with you, okay. If this video can get to the, let's be ambitious today, if this video gets 20 likes, okay, if this video gets 20 likes, I will share the source file, this AIA source file. This is exported project to my computer, also here, and we're going to export this, that is Arkanoid tutorial 1. Okay, so this is the starting file, guys. Okay, well, let's start with App Inventor. So we have in here all the images and files, okay. So basically the idea is that we need a canvas. If you check, I have a score in here. So for the score, just let's add an horizontal arrangement. Let's set it to fill parent. Then we're going to use center, okay. So color, yeah, let's give some color over there. Now let's go for the next part. We need an horizontal arrangement for the canvas, and we're going to set it not to fill parent, we are going to do something like that. So for that we're going to use Inkscape. Okay, just let me close all the garbage I have. So we're going to need Inkscape. So Inkscape is in here, just to have an idea about the size of the components and these things, okay. So while we initialize this thing, okay, we're going to check if I have the Pong, Space Invaders, Pong. I guess maybe we can use this one, that it's also the Arkanoid thing. Well, now let's start. So first we need something here. If we go in here, we check if we have something, and we don't have anything. We can take a screenshot, and we just close this. We go here, we paste the screenshot, and we have an error. That's perfect, right? Okay, sorry for that. Let's see if we don't have any errors again. If not, well, let's do it in this new document. Yes, we have this. So we have here 1280 times 700 20. So this is just to have an idea about the app, okay, or the thing that we are making today. So this is something that I did in other tutorials. If you want, you can check my previous Inkscape and App Inventor tutorials. So I want to have here the score, more or less in here. Then after that, I want to have my my canvas. So I'm going to duplicate this one, and I'm going to make it like this. Just something like this, a little long but not too much. So and then here I cannot have this kind of border, but well, so basically that is the idea. So we don't have full screen, we have this, okay. So this is the area. Just let me drag this thing from here to here and then move it. Right up. So no problem. So I guess it's okay with this one. So well, we have the idea. Okay, so don't pay attention to these elements because we're going to remove them later. So we pass this. So I want to have here my my score and title, my canvas, just in here. So this, let's move this guy over here. My canvas, it has to be somewhere in here. Let me check. So I want to play it and place my fingers over here, not to the bottom. Okay, so I guess just over here it will be like fine, or my fingers to have the controls in here. But in this case I guess it's not necessary to have controls because this is Arkanoid. Well, in this version of Arkanoid we are not going to have controls, we are just going to have a canvas, and the canvas it is just like this. Then we are going to center this using align. Yeah, also this one, align. Well, so we have more or less, this is the basic layout for this. So we have canvas, containers, and that's it. So canvas, it will be like this size, okay, this size. So let's keep it in 830 and 612. That's right. And then just to center these things. And this is going to be for the score. So maybe it is too much. Just like that. And for this guy, let's keep it in 175 for the height. So 175. Now guys, pay attention. Today we're going to work with this. If you check, we have here in screen, we have something that it's called fix or responsive. Fix. When we use fix, we have to set everything using pixels. Okay? And that's okay, but sometimes when we have tablets or bigger screens, okay, we have some problems when they are like placing things. So that's why we're going to use responsive. Responsive try to, based on the screen of the device, try to resize everything. Okay, so we're going to use in this case that one. Okay, so we're going to use responsive for this time, but remember everything has to be set in percentage. Okay, so for that, we can use, so sorry here, oh, we have some procedures. I want to keep them, but now we're going to destroy everything, guys. Okay, and I'm going to save again. Yes, just to start from the real beginning. Okay, if you check, we have this, we have this, this. Goodbye, beautiful things. We have variables, procedures, etc., etc., etc. So we destroy everything. Let's hope we can remake this app. So, well, now we just increase the size of Chrome. Save the empty screen now. Yes, save the screen now. The empty screen. Ugh, I hate this thing. Crazy companion. Crazy panion. So we are going to reset the connection. Well, now what we're going to make is this. We're going to use right now the screen title. So we're going to use the screen title, or we can use, we're going to use a procedure here just to calculate percentages. Oh, percent. Oh, percent. And we're going to set this based on the simple rule, okay, that it's a rule of 3. I don't know, in Spanish it's regla de tres, I don't know the name in English. So basically the idea is that if we have that for percent in age, so how to get in the height? Well, basically the idea it is that we're going to multiply and then divide. We're going to multiply it and then we're going to divide. We're going to multiply and divide, and we're going to divide by, if it's height, it is 1008. So, and then we're going to multiply here our value times 100, and then we need to add here a value that it's, in this case, is age. And we're going to set it. This is just to help us, friends. So we can set this thing in here. And for example, if I want to say that something, it is like the same size or the full size of the canvas, it will be, connect crazy panion. So, and then we're going to go here to companion. And we're going to check F B E Y I M. So basically that is the idea. So let's wait for companion to connect, and just let me check my notes. Well, yes, sorry for that. But if we check, we do this. We're waiting for that, for crazy panion. Well, so remember, we have this, we have canvas, and the size of the canvas. The canvas, it will be in here. It will be inside an horizontal arrangement. So the horizontal arrangement for the canvas, it will be renamed to canvas horizontal arrangement. So it's the container for the canvas. This is score horizontal arrangement, and then we have, of course, the canvas, and this thing, we're going to set this thing. As I told you, we are going to center everything, and we're going to use percent. So we can do that thing with the blocks, or we can do it in the designer. So let's wait for this, and let's see if we have. Yes, it's 100%. If something is like 1280 pixels for the height, so that means that it's using the 100% of the screen. Okay, so now we are going to duplicate this and we're going to use this for the width also, but for the width it is 720. So basically that is the idea. Okay, and we're going to duplicate, we're going to drag this thing and we're going to drag it with something 720, and if we do it, it is like 100%. That's it. So now this is just to help us. Now, for example, if I go here to Inkscape, I check the size of the screen. It is 100. It is this 100%. So now this is not the 100%. This is using 175 pixels high. So I set here for the high, and then I just do this and wait, and it's what? So this is 175 pixels, and this is sorry, my mistake. It's in here. sorry. So if we do it, it is 13%. Okay, so we can set it in the designer to 13%. That is 13.6, and this is for this, for the high. 13.7, 13. I guess it is almost 14 or 13. You can try it. So let's say this to 13%. Now 14%. Okay, so now we have the 13%. We can change the color just to have an idea, and then we're going to set the canvas, the container. Okay, if you look, it looks quite the same. Then we go to Inkscape again, and we're going to check the canvas. Okay, the canvas on then we have the container. So we can have like two. We duplicate this one, we use Shift, Control, and maybe we reduce the size just a little bit, just to have a kind of border over there. Then we just center these things. Let's change the color for this screen. Then you have this screen. Okay, so now horizontal arrangement 830, right? For the height, horizontal arrangement 830 for the high, 830, and we're gonna do this just to check the value, 64.65. So let's set this to 65%. Canvas, it will be something similar. It is like 800. Sorry, I was just checking something. Well, anyway, so 62, it is for the canvas. So we check the canvas, and it is like 62%, I guess. Then we're going to check the width of the canvas and the other guy. So the width for this one, it was 800. The width, it is set to 612 width, 612. Then we're gonna do this one. It is 85%, so 85% for the width, 85. So then we're going to check the width for the canvas, not for the container or the horizontal arrangement. 572. 572. 572. That's it. Oh, 572. Don't pay attention to me, guys. Sometimes 572. And then we just set it here, we do it. And 79. We have 79. Okay, then we just set it here. 79%. That's it. So also for this container we can just change the color just to see something like that. And for the screen we change this ugly blue color. Then for this one we just use gray, and that's it. So basically this is what we have. Okay, so quite similar to this thing. Okay, check. So quite the same. Now if you check, we have here some space. So this space, it can be like set again. We're going to use this. We're going to change the color and we're going to make a square or rectangle, and we're going to check the size of this thing, that it's 27 pixels. So and then we go and then we check here 27 pixels for height for this space. We're going to do it, and it's 2.1, so it is 2 basically. So we're going to add here an empty image, and this is going to work as something to separate these things. Okay, so the percent for this in the height, it is 2. Then we see this and we have this perfect thing. It looks quite the same as you designed this in Inkscape, right? Okay, so we will have here this ship moving in here. Now what else? Well, I guess we need to check colors and these things. Okay, but we are almost like having everything here. So what about for the color? I guess right now for the screen I would like to have something like this, just to have this kind of feeling of having a ship from a Game Boy screen or something. So we're going to use this value, we're going to set it as no transparency, and we're going to check the color. Okay, so the color, you double click in here, you will see RGBs 147, 172 and 167. So we can use these values for the canvas when we start the screen. Basically that is the idea. We set color and we're going to make a new color, and we're going to change the color of the canvas to that thing. So we just drag it in here and we check the values, 147 and then 172 and finally 167. Then we just do this thing. Okay, so we go here, we do it, and that's it. Okay, so basically that is the idea, and the score it will be in this upper part. So we just have a label, bold, maybe 20, and that's it. And maybe we are just going to set it to score, and that's it. So maybe nothing in there yet. Okay, so now let's start with the game, right? So what we need now in the canvas, it is to add our blocks. First, let's start with the blocks. So let's go to drawing and animation and let's drag some sprites. Let's drag 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sprites. So we have 10 sprites in the canvas. Okay, so it is not necessary to rename all of them. So here. Okay, so the 65, 62. So well, anyway, so we have color, and we have the color for this horizontal arrangement. We have the size for this 62% times 79, and this is 65% times 85. Well, basically that's the thing that we have to do. I guess we are not using something very well, but well, anyway, yes, that's it. It was like sleeping, or it was using almost the same color. Well guys, now we're gonna go here and we're going to start like adding many things. Okay, so if you check, we have images. So now let's go here and let's check the information that we have here. We have Pong, Pong blocks, Pong up 2. These are sounds, blocks, move, icons, enemies, explosion, background canvas, and background normal normal background. So I guess in this case, if you check, I will share these files with you, and you can use the images as you want. Okay, so if we upload, I guess I will create a file for you. This is not for this one, this is for Space Invaders that we're working. By the way, check my tutorial about Space Invaders. Okay, it's pretty interesting. So Arkanoid, we have sprites too, and we have these elements, and VG. Check this VG. Okay, VG, I will open it. Oh, sorry. Let's make a preview just to show you what it's VG. I done these graphics with using not Inkscape. In this case it was GIMP. If you check, it's a transparent thing with some borders, and the borders are like these tubes, okay, from Arkanoid. So that's the idea with that it's VG file. So the VG file, it can be set in here in canvas. So maybe if you set canvas to image, maybe you can use VG, and then you say okay, and then we just check if this looks okay. It looks quite okay. So maybe we need just to reduce the size to make it the same size as the canvas, because we don't need any background. Okay, so we can use the same 79 times 62, 79. So we can set it to 62 and the other one to 79. 79. Let's hope that works. 79 I said, right? Or 69. No, it's 69 I guess. Bad memory. 69. Now this is not 69. So why don't we change canvas now? Canvas, it's okay. I don't want to have a very big canvas. So let me check. This looks okay. Now let's set 62. 62 for this border, for this horizontal arrangement, and then 79 with 79, and let's see if this looks better. Now it's hiding these things because it has the same size, 62 times 79. So we can make this thing a little bit bigger. 63 times 80, and in that case it will give the illusion that we have here a border. Okay, 81% for the width. It looks better. 82%. Now it looks like a border. Okay, so we have the border around this canvas. Okay, now we have the images. We don't have anything in the images, but we have imported this kind of blocks. Okay, so I have lots of them. Why? Well, because I just thinking about the design or the style. But you know what? I guess we are going to use just some of them. We're not going to use all of them because they are like different styles. Okay, so probably we will use something like just solid colors, or we go for something like this. This kind of, I guess, solid colors. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, and these ones we have 2, 3. I guess we're going to use just the 5 colors, the solid colors, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So block 6, 8, and 10. Well, anyway, we're going to make this here. And the first thing that we're going to do, okay, yes, now let's start with the game. Because we were like resizing, so we're going to use this thing. Because there is something that I have to tell you that is very important. We're using, as I told you, responsive. So everything has to be set based on the percentage. There is a problem with canvas. Canvas can be set to percentage, but image sprites, no. They just are set by pixels, so that's not very good. Okay, so we're going to try to avoid that using blocks. Okay, so let's wait this works. Okay, because I haven't tried, I have to be honest, but let's hope this works. Well, now we're gonna go here and we're going to create some lists. Okay, we're going to need list for a list for the for the images, and a list for all the positions and things. Okay, so sorry for that. So we're going to create a list of images, but if you check, we have lots of images. Okay, so we have like 10, 1, 2, 3, 14 images, and it's not very comfortable to make them, okay, a list. So we're going to make an automatic list. So to do that, we're going to create a procedure. Procedures, we're going to arrange the procedures to the right. So we're going to call this make list images. So I'm going to use a loop to create this thing using for each number. For each number from this, and we have 14 images, and we're going to increase this number by 1. We're going to create a list, of course, but the list has to be here, that it's going to be the name of the list, pictures. Let's call it block pictures, blocks pictures, and we're going to set this to an empty list. And then when we start the app here, we're going to drag this procedure and we're going to add elements to this list. We're going to fill this list with this loop. Okay, basically we're going to say, hey, you know what, in the blocks list you have to add one item. The item that you are going to add, the good idea is that I rename my files from 1 to 14 in order with the same blk1, blk2. So in that case, that allows us to use loops. Okay, because all the images start with blk. Then we're going to go here to get the number, the current number of the loop, because this is going to make a loop from 1 to 14, and then it's going to see blk1, and then the extension. We need the extension. The extension is the same for all of them, so it is the point png, and that's it. And with this thing, we are going to create an image list very fast, very fast. Okay, so and we're going to insert this procedure just here, and that's it. Okay, so we created the images just like that. Now the next thing that we need to do, it is like to set the images for all these sprites that we have. We have 10 sprites. So how to do that? Well, you can set one by one, going to sprite, and then you say set image picture to a random picture from this list. And then you do it for 2, for 3, for 4, for 5, for 6, but it will be really hard. So instead of that, we're going to make a component. So we're going to create the list here. So we're going to set all the variables in here, and we're going to create this component. Okay, we're going to call it sprites blocks component, and we're going to set this to an empty list, and we're going to fill this, make this thing or this component. It's going to help us. Okay, so we're going to create a procedure, and we're going to call it the block. If you check in Arkanoid, we have like this kind of line of blocks. We're going to create line by line. The first line, it will contain these 10 images, and we're going to call it make line 1. Okay, so let's make the line 1. So to make that, we're going to fill first a list. Okay, so this is going to be like manually. This has to be like that. We're going to create this 3. We have 10 sprites. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you just move this thing. Sorry. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we're going to add to the list of, okay, this new list, that is this component, or is a list of sprites. We're going to add this. We're going to go to the first sprite, and we're going to go to the bottom, and we're going to add, sorry, not this one. To the bottom, you have a block, a single block that is called image sprite. So that means that we are referring to this object or this component. So we're going to Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, and we're going to drag this, and then we're going to check on the drop menu. So in this case, and finally, that's it. And then very carefully you make sure you are like doing this: sprite number 3, sprite number 4, sprite number 5, sprite number 6, sprite number 7, sprite number 9, sprite number 10, and sprite number 11. So we created the list. Of course, we have to load this thing here. So in make line 1. Okay, now when you create these components, you have to use, you cannot use the normal blocks. You have to use the special blocks that are in any component. You are going to go to the bottom, and where it says any component, we expand, and then we just go for any image sprite. Then we are going to use some of these characteristics. Okay, so for example, we're going to use the picture. We're going to set pictures, but we cannot set like that, because we need to tell we need to insert this in a loop, and we're going to use for each. I have a video about for each. Please try to look for it. Okay, it's very interesting. And well, we're going to call this block. So that means that for each block in the list, which list? The list that we just have created, the global sprites component, this list, and we're going to drag this word block where it has components. So for each block in this list, I want you to set an image picture to, so it's going to make a loop. Okay, so you can set it from random, okay, or you can set it just by the name of the current in the loop. Okay, so because it's continue 1, 2, 3, 4, it's making like a loop. Okay, it's going for all the sprites, okay, and that's it. Okay, so well, we're going to make it just like random. I guess random it will be okay. So random, pick a random item from the list images. So we are going to duplicate this and change the name to global blocks picture, and that's it. We're going to have that thing, okay, in this loop. Now if we just run this thing, we will have a problem, okay, because yes, we can see maybe the blocks, but all the blocks will be in the same position. So let's try to refresh the screen to see if we have something. And it's trying to run and check. So property was expecting something, image sprite, but got a boolean. Ah well, there is a mistake over there. Okay, so don't worry. So block, we have the component. So if you check, everything is just like a mess in here, okay, or in there. So to make the line 1, okay, so we need to make more adjustments. So every block has to be in here, and these blocks we have to place them correctly. Okay, first we're going to place them based in the canvas, but there is a problem, as I told you. Now because we are using this kind of feature that is called responsive, it will try to place everything according to the percentage. If you set it by pixels, if you have a big screen and you say 5 pixels, it will be just 5 pixels in here, and maybe the big screen, it is not like resizing based on the size of the screen. So that's why we need to be very careful with this. So first let's check the width of the blocks, which width we want to have the blocks for. Okay, so well, if you check, we have to go to Inkscape, and we can drag here, like let's say that we are going to drag some blocks over there. I can import some from the other to so we need like 10 blocks, 4, 6, 8, 10. I have 10 blocks, and I want to have my blocks in just one line. Then separate them by 4 pixels, for example. In that case, arrange. I guess that looks okay. Now we need to resize these things. We're going to resize them just to see if this is okay. So probably I will just set this to 6, arrange 6, or maybe just close. I guess in Arkanoid they are very close, so let's make them close. Let's group this. I have like a group just to center this in my canvas. Then just ungroup this thing, and I will check the size of everything. So if I have it over there, sorry, probably a little bit like that. So I guess that looks quite okay. So if we have like 2 lines and these things, maybe looks much better. Yeah, I guess that's okay. Well, anyway, so now we are going to check the size of this thing, that is 50 times 23. So let's round this thing. Let's duplicate this friend, and we're going to use, in this case I will use 50, and for this I will use 24. Okay, so now it is set this to 50 times 24. Now we're going to use this thing 50 I know 50, I guess it's not this one, the H2. Just let me rename this 50 times 24. So let's check for this. It is 1.875, and for this it's 6.9. So we have these values that we are gonna use, guys. Okay, so we're going to use these values, and these are like the percentages. Okay, so well, now we can use those values in here. Let's duplicate this, and let's duplicate this. Okay, so now we're gonna go to set, because we're going to set this thing based in the percentage. But there is a problem when you talk about percentage, how to get the percentage based on the canvas. Okay, so that means it is based on the canvas. No, it is based in the screen, sorry, in the screen size. Okay, so well, to do that we're going to multiply the size of the screen. Okay, so we're going to use the width and the other one, okay, the height, and we're going to multiply this times screen height times this thing divided by 100. So in that case we can do it like that, divided by 100, or we can just modify the procedure. So instead of having, this thing divided by 100, we just have the h like that, and it will give us the value like that. 0.018, it is similar to 1.8%. Okay, so basically that is the idea when you multiply. So we are going to do the same for this, and if we run it, it is 0.06, is 6%. Okay, basically that is the thing that we have to do now, and we're going to go here to set the size of these blocks. So remember, now we have this, it is not necessary to divide because the value it is directly. So we're going to multiply this, the screen. This, for example, if you want to check the screen, the half of the screen, you just multiply by 0.5. Okay, that is the 50%. So in this case, this is for height of the images. We go to any component, then we go to any image sprite, and we're going to set the width and the height. Set width and the width. It is with this one. We're going to drag this block, and we are going to duplicate this one, and we're going to use this one that we just created for the height. We change to height, and sorry, I forgot in this case the times, so we duplicate this and we just eliminate and change. This goes here, and garbage. Now this width. So now pay attention to the blocks. So we modify based on the percentage. So this is to avoid to have mistakes with the other things in other devices like tablets. So we're going to change this, and we are going to refresh, and let's wait for a positive result. So we refresh the screen, and then we will have something over there. Of course, now let's see if we don't have a mistake like it says before. Empty list. Oh yes, we have property setter was expecting App Inventor runtime image sprite component but got a boolean instead. So we have a boolean, that boolean probably it is in here. So set add items to the list, image 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7, 10. Why I said, where is my 8? I forgot to add 8. Nine. Ah, yeah, I know why. Well, yes, we have 10. So let's wait for this 10 and let's try to refresh this to see again the error, but if you check the resizing, it looks okay. Then I guess we need to check carefully the blocks. Yes, that's okay. You see, all of them look quite okay, but now we need to place them. Well, to place them, we need to create a variable, and this variable, it will be distance. So distance, and we're going to set distance in here, and we're going to set distance to 10. That's it. So now what is the idea? Well, the idea is we are going to give some space here to these blocks, or some distance when we start making the blocks. Okay, so we want to have the blocks starting here and then moving to this part. So that's why I'm using 10. But there is another problem. When you set this thing, these variables, the problem is that we need to have also for this the position based in percentage. Okay, so the distance, we are going to set it to 0, and then we're going to change this. I want to set the distance at 10%. Okay, just 10%. So to based on the screen width. Okay, so in that case, I can use this, and we can say that I just want to have like the 10%. So in this case, necessarily this. So 10% is 0.1. 0.1. So, but maybe 10% is too much. 0.1. And that's it. This is 10%, the distance. Now we're going to call the sprites to be created and move. So we're going to use this block, call image sprite move to for component. We're going to drag the block as usual in component, and the position in X, it will be based in distance. Okay, so we're going to use distance. So let me just make this thing bigger. So we're going to use distance, and then the Y it will be set, okay, based on probably based now in the size of the canvas, the height of the canvas, height. We're going to base this on at the 30% of the height of the canvas. So that means that we're going to multiply the canvas height times 0.3, that is 30%. So it will place all the elements at the 30% of the canvas height, that is in here. The 100% of the canvas is here, and this is the 30%. Okay, so far so good. Now after we do this, we place the first enemy or the first block. We are going to increase the variable distance, because if not, all of them are going to be overlap in the X axis. So we're going to set the distance, and we're going to increase this value Okay, we're going to increase this value by itself, plus we're going to use in this case the width of these sprites. Okay, so they are going to be like next to each other. Component, we're going to use block. Now let's analyze the blocks. Okay, first we created the component, all the image sprites from 1 to 10. So then we create a variable that is called distance. We set it to 0, and then we are going to set this, the initial distance when we load the images. We're going to set it to the 10% of the screen width. Even I was thinking also, not only based on the screen width, maybe we're going to use the canvas width. So we're going to go to canvas and we're going to use, I guess it's better. So now check the canvas. So we want to have like the 10%. If we divide this in 10 parts, so based on the 10% of the width of the canvas, width, be careful. Now we run this procedure to create all the elements in the list. First we set a picture for all of them, then we set the size, the width based on the percentage, okay, based on the screen, okay, that we have the procedure that we created, then we images, and then we just call these to place them. After we place one, okay, here, and we set the position and based on the canvas height in the Y, and the X based on the distance it will be like increased by the width of the sprite. Okay, so that means that plus this value, it moves this, it moves this, it moves this. So let's see if this is working. And if not, yes. Okay, so if you check here, it is at the 30% of the screen. I guess it looks okay. We can move it. Okay, so maybe we can place them not at the 30%, but what about the 18%? 18, not 80. So if we refresh the screen, so we move them up. Then we just wait for this, and they will be like here. Yes, I guess it looks better. But now if you check, they are like not very centered. Okay, so what can we do? Well, maybe we just can try here 0.0 I don't know, 6%. In this case, that means that is the 6% of the canvas. So we're going to refresh. We're going to do this, and we're going to move them to the left. So we have to do this manually. I guess I like it. Now it's like okay. So random images and set them in the position and based on the scale. So what's next? Well, the next thing, guys, I guess it is to create a second row, okay, just below this one. Okay, well, how to do that? Well, I guess that it's not pretty difficult, because we're going to create what? We need to create another component. We can use the another component like this one. So we can duplicate this procedure, and we're going to modify some stuff over there. So let's do it. Let's click, right click, and then just duplicate, move this thing back, down or below this, and we call it make line 2. So now it's going to make line 2. Then we have make line 1, and then we are going to adjust some things. Obviously we don't need to create the same thing here. We need to create another variable. So, and this variable, remember that I told you that we are like trying to be a little bit organized. So let's organize here this variable, and let's use this name, Control C, Control V, and let's call it sprites block component 2. and we're going to set this to empty list. So we have the variables over there. So now we need to add elements to this list, the same, just change to 2, but now we're not going to use sprite number 1. We're going to use, in this case, we finished the other one in sprite number 10, so we continue with sprite 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 90. Then we just remove the last space or slot. We have 19, and then it's going to create this. Now the distance will be set like again. We go to the initialize block, and we're going to duplicate this one and call it make line 2, just from the drop menu. Then we go to the number 2. So it's going to set again the distance to 0.6. Now we're going to check because probably we need to adjust in this one. Now everything stays the same except one thing. Okay, what about the Y? Okay, Y has to be changed because we don't want to overlap them over here. We want to move them a little bit down. So to do that, okay, we are going to use here the value that we're going to use. It's the original width. Okay, we're going to use an image sprite that we just added. I don't know why it is like telling us that thing. We have 10 sprites, but we don't have the sprites in here. I guess it's a mistake because I deleted this stuff. You know what? Let's add the sprites. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's a mistake, guys, because I delete things. Okay, so it was not like properly delete. 16, 17, 18. Maybe companion is going to crash. 18 and 19. That's okay. Yes, sure. So don't worry about this. Okay, we're going to have some errors over there. So now about this, where to place in the Y position. Well, basically we're going to use any image sprite that is just like set and scale, and we're going to use the position that has this sprite. Okay, and we're going to increase this value plus its height. So to have them just paste just below this. We're using just sprite 1, you can use sprite 2 or sprite 3. So that's basically the idea. Okay. So now if we check this companion crash, yes, I know, crazy panion. We try to refresh. If not, we just close because I added too many things. So we have 19 sprites. Yes, very good. So now I guess we need to refresh the screen. Just let me refresh the connection. Close this. Yes, I know. My fault, because I was adding many things. So now we go here to companion, R, Z, X, T, R, T. Then we just connect, and that's it. We are almost finishing with this tutorial, guys, because if not, it's going to be like very long. Now we just wait a little bit more. We just wait for companion. Hopefully, well, yes, make line 2. We need to change this to block components 2, and that's it. Okay, and then just give me a second. And then okay, so just make sure you change this global sprite blocks component. And then we have here a crazy sprite, but it is because I was like moving things. Okay, so let's change this to 16 and let's wait for this. And that's it. Now if you check, we have 9, so these are not like properly aligned. Okay, so maybe we can add here a space. Okay, so you can use here this one and you can push them, increasing this value maybe to the 0.9, so that means the 9%, and then we just refresh the screen and then they are going to be moved like to the right, okay, to make them look better or worse. I set to 90%. It is 0.09, not the 90%. This is 9%, and when you set 0.9, it is like the 90%. So watch out, guys. Sorry. So basically that's the idea. Okay, so it looks better. Okay, a little bit more. So maybe now it is 10%. Okay, so it's 10%. It's 0.1, guys. Okay, so that is the 10%. So we refresh the screen finally, and then we're going to wait a little bit. Yes, we have over there quite a line. Yeah, that's okay. Now, what if we want to add a third row? Well, we need to add more sprites. Now let's add just like 8 sprites, right? So we were in 19, so now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, no, just 8. Then we go to the blocks, maybe Casey Panion is going to crash. So how to do it? Well, I add the 8 sprites. So why don't you try it before I do it? Okay, so I give you some time, so you can pause the video and then you can start making this thing. Well, if you do it or if you didn't try it, but I will show you how to do it. We're going to duplicate the last procedure, that is the line 2. And we're going to rename it to line 3, make line 3. Okay, so make line 3. Now we're going to change the blocks in here. For the last one, it was block number 19. So now we have to go with 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are missing 27. That's it. And this one, it is not longer necessary, the last one. So we just destroy this guy. We have this. Now what's next? Well, we need to create the list. Okay, here for the component we are going to duplicate this one. We're going to call this component and we're going to call it number, yes, it was number 3, so it was okay. So we have number 1, we have number 2, and we have number 3. Okay, this is the number 1, 2, and 3. Now we need to add this procedure to make line 3 here after number 2, and then we go in here, and then we just need to modify the first values, that it's the list, add the items to the new list, and then we need to change the sprites. Okay, so now we cannot use sprite number 1 because sprite number 1 is in the top, but we need to use some of the sprites after this one, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What about the sprite number 12 or 13? 12 of 13, and then set the global distance. It's okay, so we need to move it maybe a little bit to the right, so we are going to increase this value to probably, let me check if the other one was from 6 to 10, it was 4, maybe to 14, the 14%. Okay, so basically that's the idea. So now I guess we are almost done with this. Here 13. So now let's refresh the screen and keep your fingers crossed. So if everything it's okay, we will see 3 lines. Yes, we have 3 lines of beautiful blocks. Okay, well, this is just the initial part. You can add more lines, okay? So I guess with 3 it's okay. We have lots of enemies over there. And then we're going to add our paddle, okay? I guess that's the final stuff. If you want to, if you are planning to add more things, okay, just add them, okay? But for me, it's okay with 3 lines. So I will add just an extra sprite, and this extra sprite is for my paddle. I'm going to rename this one. I'm going to call it paddle SP, that is sprites, okay? And we're going to set the picture to pad. You have pad N and pad 2, okay? I'm going to set it in here. That's not the one I want, sorry. Paddle, that I call it Padlet, but well, it was my mistake. We have paddling there, and then for the size we can use percentage. Okay, I guess if we set it just like trying to set something more or less, I guess in this case we have the paddle, we have to fill it, set it by pixels, yeah, I mean by percent. So we can do that at the beginning of our app. So probably when we're making the list and these things, we can add the paddle after making the everything. So, and we need to resize the paddle, okay? So let's say that we have the paddle X and Y, set paddle X, duplicate, set paddle Y, and then we go here to Inkscape, and we try to set everything based on this. So maybe the paddle, it's quite similar to this, but a little bit longer, something like that. So what about it is 24 times 90. 24, we duplicate this one. So 24 times, we duplicate this one, 90. And then we're going to multiply this value for the screen width. This is for the X, is for screen width, because we're using this procedure based on the screen width. So screen width times the value that we have in here. This value, remember, is like the 0.018, so it is 0.1% of the size of the screen. Then we just duplicate this one, and we use height for the Y, and the value, it is this one, that it represents the 12%. So now if we load this thing, we need to place it again based in pixels, no, based in the percentage. So, and remember, because these are like sprites, we cannot use here the percent. Okay, so that's not very good. So let's just use this to see the changes. I guess it's quite the same. So we wait for this thing, and that's it. It's over there, so I guess I like it. we can increase it or make it bigger. So I guess yes, we're going to make this thing bigger. So probably it is not the 24%, maybe it is the 29%, and this is like not the 29, I mean it is like the pixels that we're using. Okay, so maybe it is 30 pixels times 118, and here 35, and then we can do it here. Sorry guys, I didn't check that I am talking about the width, not the Y position, and the height. Oh, my mistake. So let's check it again, and then we're going to refresh everything. Yes, my mistake. So the screen width, based on the screen width, it's 35. Okay, so and then you have 128, so that's not correct. So well, anyway, if we go here, it looks like this: 127, 102, 102, and then it's 27th, 27th, yes, for the height. So the height is this one, so I have to change this. Okay, be careful guys with these procedures because they have the same name, 27 and 102. Yes, I guess right now it's okay, so let's just do these results. That's okay, it looks much better. And for the placement, it is the same thing. We are going to use this, and we're going to duplicate this, and we're going to change this to X and this to Y. Now in this case we are not going to use the screen. It is easier to use the canvas width and the canvas height. Canvas width, it is for the X values, and canvas height, it is for the Y values. Okay, so now the paddle in X, it will be at the center, so maybe something like 50%, or probably a little bit less, times 30%, 45.0. That's the 30% of the screen. And for the Y, not at the bottom, but almost like this, it's like the 80 or 75%, 0.78%. Then if we place this in X, quite a half, almost, so 0.4, we do it, that's okay. I guess it looks better. Okay, and we have placed everything, and hopefully this will look okay in a tablet. Okay, quite the same as in the tablet or as in this cell phone. Well, I guess that's all for this tutorial, guys. Okay, so I'm sorry, maybe you were expecting to see everything animated and this the ball, but believe me, that's the easiest part. Okay, so right now we are just with this, placing these things and trying to make this thing to look better in different devices, at least in most of them. Okay, so we're going to use responsive, and we're going to hide the show the status bar. Well guys, so I guess that's all for the tutorial. Please, I will share this file, I mean the source file, the images, even this the starting file, or the working file for this source file, or the AIA file of App Inventor with you. If we get to this, if you help me get this video to 15 likes, okay, I guess there is one video that we got 10 likes, that was Spanish. Okay, so I was like surprised because in Spanish, But if we can get it for this one to 15, so guys, I will be really happy, and I will share this AIA, I will share the images for you, okay, and everything to be ready to work with this Arkanoid. Okay, so don't forget to check my other tutorials. I have some kind of premium tutorials that is Space Invaders. It's really cool. It is really cool. Okay, so the app feels really good. Okay, so and well, anyway, that's all for today. I will see you next time with the next part. Remember, we are going to move the ball. We're going to destroy these things. Okay, and that's the idea for the next video. My name is Eduardo. I will see you soon.